Every single week, I put my freaking heart and soul into this. I study my ass off. I don't go out there and laugh. It's not funny.
When we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were.
Welcome, everybody, to the greatest NFL show right here on YouTube and on Turnbuckle I am one-fourth of the four horsemen of pro football. Myself, you can call me the one and only JBONE. With me, as always, is the Hochster. What's up, huh?
Living the high life in Memphis, man. On suicide watch.
The highlight. Good Lord. And in the sticks of Tennessee, we got Seth. What's up, Seth? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? Coming off another awesome Sunday watching football with Hawk. We dude brought, I think, about $300 worth of Buffalo Wild Wings, man, over to the house. Still been munching on it the last 2 days. So, yeah, it's been looking good. My Titans won, man. So things are looking up.
What kind of affliction shirt did he wear?
He didn't have affliction shirt.
Advice to viewers: never put an online order for B-dubs in when you're stoned. You just get on there and you're just like, all right, I want one of every flavor.
Bro, we were going down, dude. My kid, my son, my 5-year-old made like 2 different plates, dude. Hawk brought, the wings would have been plenty, dude. He had the wings, he had the cheese sticks, the fried pickles, the French fries, man, along with some space dust, dude. So if you invite Hawk over to your house, he showed up correct for sure.
Always do, man. Except unless they shut me down at fucking Kroger on Sunday morning.
Then we got the Huskies over there in Nebraska. What's up?
How fucking dare you call them the Huskies?
The Nebraska Huskies, the Corn Huskies. Love it.
Things are good, man. It was another good football weekend other than the Huskers.
It
is going to be a long rebuild, man. It ain't good.
Oh, man. Well, I think it's time we just get right into it. Let's get into our little Homer rant, and let's check out how our teams did.
We've got to be the dumbest team in America.
I go first.
We couldn't complete a pass.
We give games away.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively.
We give them away.
We got totally kicked the second half. We couldn't make a first down, horse performance.
I always forget about the drops.
Yeah,
I forgot. Go first. I forgot. It's like, I'll go first, though, so let's get it out of the fucking way.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead. I'm going to hit the clock. Go ahead.
All right. Colts are fucking terrible. And we fired our offensive coordinator today, which is hilarious because he doesn't even call the fucking plays.
I was about to say, y'all have one?
So it's a symbolic firing because they know the fans are calling for people's heads. They're like, all right, we'll give you one. We'll throw out the offensive coordinator. Then we make the most inexplicable trade. I'm fine with trading Nyheim Hines. I don't care. But to trade him for just Zach Moss and a conditional 6, I'm sure the conditions are if fucking Hines does well, we get a 6th-round pick. It's like, why? I understand if you start a fire sale and you get rid of a bunch of players because you think it's over, but just to trade Nyheim Hines for nothing is just another line of miscues by the Colts. And again, I don't think we're going to miss him because we underutilized him. That's fine. But at least get something for him or just fucking keep him on the team. Doesn't make any sense. Coach needs to go. I'm really starting to doubt our GM. Fuck the Colts. Maybe next year.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Jordan, you're up. What's going on in Atlanta?
Man, tried to blow another. Well, I mean, they did blow another one. Somehow this week, the Carolina Panthers out-falconed the Falcons. I really don't know what to say. I mean, when they gave up that Hail Mary, I almost threw my phone through my TV. I was just like, dude, how does this continually happen? But, I mean, hey, I'll give them credit. They came back and they won that game. So, yeah, I still hate Marcus Mariota. I don't get what he's doing for this team. I mean, yeah, he'll make a play every once in a while, but dude, the dude cannot stretch the field at all with his arm. And no. I mean, they got Pitts and they got London. We're just wasting first-round picks at this point. So they won. They're in first place in the division, which is the worst division in the NFL. So I don't know what that's saying. So, hey, let's enjoy first place. No toaster in the bathtub for me yet.
Seth, showed me started reading off your tweets. I like how when you're watching the Falcons play, you just start tweeting into the universe. Like nobody knows what's going on. It's just your reaction to something that it's like worst fourth down call ever. And then that's it. No context.
Everyone that follows me knows what I'm talking about. It's just Seth that fucking makes a big deal out of it.
What's crazy is the Falcons could be 6-2 right now. Really. Theoretically.
Could also have a Super Bowl, but let's not get into that.
We got into that last week. Check out that heated debate last week, baby. All right, Seth, you want to go for some Titans stuff?
So again, I'm a casual Titans fan at best. Hawk could tell you, I kind of had one eye on the game the whole time. I would like to go ahead and double down. I'll get the hot tag from Hawk and say fuck the Colts for what they've done to Matt Ryan this year. They were coming into the year. They were my number 2 favorite team. Now I hope they lose every game the rest of the year. Frank Reich is just rearranging the deck chairs in the Titanic at this point, man, because that ship is going down.
Oh, baby.
Can't dispute it.
All right, I'll go ahead and go. Let me reset our clock here. The New Orleans Saints won a football game this week. They completely skunked out the Las Vegas Raiders, which blew me away. But honestly, it was not that great of a performance. Even still, like
it was a shocking result to say the least.
Yeah, it was. It was just like, all right, we won, cool.
It's not often great coaches get blanked, you know.
Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I'm kind of disappointed the Saints didn't make any moves, not to get into position, but to better their future for next couple of years. But they made no moves. Of course, there was Alvin Kamara talk trading for a first round pick, which I have to admit that's really kind of that's a high price tag. But no moves. We'll see what happens. One game out of the division. I don't know. That brings us to our next segment, which is everybody's favorite segment. Josh McDaniels.
Oh, God.
Take it away, Seth. Take it away.
So Hawk was right there on the back porch, man, at about 5:15, dude. A couple double 7-Up and bourbons, about 4 beers on top of that, and I finally had just a moment of clarity. I said, you know what? I think I might have to just go on the air and rescind my Josh McDaniels support. Yeah, it's rare, dude. It has happened in the past, but it's rare. I think I was wrong on this one, but Hawk assured me that no matter what, we're going to keep the McDaniels watch going the rest of the season. So you guys throw it in my face. But, yeah, it's getting worse, dude. And, not to totally rehash our entire conversation, but I think Hawk kind of nailed it, dude. Maybe the guy's just got some personality issues. Clearly, he's a solid coach, man. Like, at least the offense X's and O's, because he was running the show for the Patriots offense all the glory years there. But it's something about being a head coach, man. A lot of that stuff's personality driven, and it seems like the players are just not motivated to go out and do what they need to do, because the Raiders should have a solid team. They had a really good team last season, and they added the best wide receiver in the league. Only thing that really changed, dude, was Josh McDaniels coming in, man. So I don't know. I know the Raiders got to be sweating it, giving him that big contract, and not even a half season through, it's looking like a disaster.
Yeah, what's funny is everything you're saying now, the rest of us knew the week you made the comment that he was a great coach. And that's why the segment lives on, because it took you like 4 extra weeks to come to that realization. And that's what was hilarious about the whole situation, I think.
It was just, I was infatuated by all the Patriots' success. And then I felt like he got a bad deal in Denver, because they did get off to the hot start. He never really got to see it through what he was building there. He drafted Tebow. Other thing he gets points for, I never mentioned, he immediately identified that Jay Cutler is not a franchise quarterback. You know what I mean? As soon as he got there, he got rid of Jay Cutler, and the Bears spent, 9 years trying to make that happen when he was the one guy that knew it wasn't going to be
You don't get points for that because everybody knew Jay Cutler sucked.
Dude, 2008, Jay Cutler was looking like a beast, man. That 2008 Cutler was pretty nasty. He definitely. It was never the same with the Bears, but Cutler. We can't sit here and act like Cutler wasn't great in 2008.
No. So the issue with quarterbacks like Cutler, Fitzpatrick, people like that, they have long careers because they're just on the cusp of starting material, like just on the cusp of being a starter quarterback in the NFL, but just not quite there. But obviously, a lot of teams don't have first-string caliber quarterbacks, and that's why those guys got to start. So I know you couldn't ever fault a team for starting Jay Cutler because there probably wasn't a much better option, I guess.
He's like that worst-case scenario for me where it's like they're too good to just straight up dump them, but they're not good enough to ever really get you to the promised land, man. So, but yeah, it's barring some miraculous turnaround, I think I'm gonna have to just take the L on this one, and I believe I was wrong. And Josh McDaniels might simply be a good coach, not a great coach.
No, Seth, you were right.
Man, if the Raiders can get Zappy, man, I think
if they get Zappy, they'll probably make a run to the Super Bowl. Yeah, if they can find a way to get Bailey Zappy.
We're gonna do a Bailey Zappy watch now. Can we do that?
You want to know the worst thing about Jay Cutler too? The Bears, one of the most historic organizations in the NFL. Jay Cutler is their all-time leading passer.
I was about to say that
numbers, dude.
That is embarrassing, dude.
Last week we talked about overrated quarterbacks. We talk about overrated quarterbacks. Jay fucking Cutler is an overrated.
Who has him overrated? Though?
I don't think anyone rates him.
Even where he's at. He
may have been a starter too long in the league. You can make that case, but I don't think anyone's rating him high for him to be overrated.
I'll give you that.
But anyway, we'll move on. We're gonna go to we're gonna take a little look at coaches on the hot seat, man, because it's mid-season, and I think you're starting. I can think of a few that are probably not gonna make it through the season. So Jordan,
fired.
Couple coach or two on the hot seat.
I mean, up until this weekend, I thought Nathaniel Hackett was the next coach to go. Jesus, dude. The Jaguars actually made the Broncos look like a functioning team in the second half. Pretty fucking bad for Doug Peterson. I don't think he'll get fired. I mean, the obvious choice is Frank Reich. There's no way this dude makes it through this season. I don't understand what they're doing. I mean, they continue to misutilize Jonathan Taylor. I don't know, man. That team is just a dumpster fire. And then I'll go with I think Josh McDaniels is going one season and out. I really don't think he's going to make it past this season. That team is bad. They're very. When you get shut out by the Saints, no offense, JBONE, that team is not good. And when you get shut out by them, you're in deep shit.
Yeah.
I think the business side of things might buy McDaniels another season because remember the Raiders, they're still paying John Gruden right now also. So I don't think and that's a pretty heavy price tag. So I don't think they want to be paying, two fired coaches at the same time. So I think his contract might get him another year, but other than that, he deserves it because it's not looking good. I think it's just, Frank Reich all the way though. His seat's got to be, the whole room is engulfed in flames there in Indy right now with what the expectations were compared to how it's turned out after 8 weeks.
I think another name you got to throw out there is Cliff Kingsbury. They've definitely underperformed big time this year. And you can argue, okay, you didn't have Hopkins for a little while, but damn, it's just not good.
He's another guy that just got an extension, man. He just got an extension this offseason. I don't know what these teams are seeing to make them throw all these years at these guys because the success really hasn't been there for the Cardinals.
You could also say Dan Campbell from the Lions.
I don't know how that guy survives this season. I really don't. I wasn't going to mention him because I knew one of you guys would, but dude, Detroit was getting all hyped up after that Hard Knocks. They're fucking terrible.
Yeah, Dan Campbell is an awesome assistant coach, man. I would love for him to be an assistant coach on my team's staff, but he's not head coach material, man. He's a good guy to have in the building, just not the guy at the top of the the flow chart.
For sure, Nathaniel Hackett though. You also got to throw him out as well. But
yeah, he might be gone. It's been bad in Denver.
The clear pick, obviously, is Frank Reich.
Whoa, shocker!
Obviously, another little homer rant here, I guess, is I've seen every game this dude's coached, and people forget his first year was Luck's first year back from injury, and we started off the season 1-5.
He's been that long coaching?
Yeah, and it was very evident early on. Game 1, game 2, I was like, fuck, this guy sucks. I have known Frank Reich was a terrible coach since we got him. No question, and ask any Colts fan, he sucked. And he's aggressive when he should be, kind of passive, and then he's passive when he should be aggressive. He'll, not kick a field goal when he should kick the field goal, and then kick the field goal when he should go for it. And the play that should be eliminated from the NFL for all coaches, I think it should be an illegal play, is lining up in shotgun on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. I think you should save coaches from their own fucking stupidity of making them look ridiculous. I'm never going to understand shotgun on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. It's never going to make sense to me. Yeah, you're going to get it sometimes, of course, but you're setting yourself back 2 yards to get fucking 1 yard. It doesn't, and that's his big issue. He can't call plays. So Frank Reich, and then I think Rivera's gone too. I think they beat us, but they're not good. The Redskins aren't good at all. Commanders are not fucking good at all. And I think if they would have lost to us, we don't fire our offensive coordinator, and then the Redskins or the Commanders are starting to clean house. So there's a lot of coaches.
The Deadskins.
Yeah, but the Colts are 3-4-1, and Frank Reich's on the hot seat. So, but it's all, you could tell who's a good coach. It's like a quarterback. You could tell if you have a good coach very early on. Mm-hmm. And kudos to franchises who, like if the Raiders get rid of McDaniels after 1 year, kudos to you for being like, yeah, we made a mistake. Mm-hmm. Teams hold on too long to bad coaches for sentimental reasons. They don't want to look stupid. And a lot of teams, I think, if they looked at their coach and been like, is this the coach that can win us a Super Bowl? I honestly think about half the coaches in the NFL would get fired after the season. If teams were more realistic.
Oh, yeah.
I got a question for you, Hot. Who would you replace Frank Reich with?
I don't even pretend to know who would be good, but I do realize, because we've done a few Colts coaching searches throughout the years, and it's always like the up-and-coming offensive coordinator or the up-and-coming defensive coordinator. And then I remember one year we were going to get like the chief special teams coach, and I'm like, why get a special teams coach? That's stupid. But now after going through 2 shitty coaches in a row, actually 4, but well, Dungy wasn't shitty, but Caldwell and Pagano and Reich have all been fucking shitty. I realized that you don't need a good offensive coach or a good defensive coach. You need a good leader, and then you get good coordinators, because that's what it is. You construct a great fucking offense. You got the number 1 offense in the NFL as an offensive coordinator, but you don't know shit about leading people. Your game plan means nothing. So now I don't know, but I'm not big on this. Like, do we want an offensive coach, defensive coach? It's like, no, you want a coach who's going to get in people's fucking asses, hold them accountable, and who has a game plan and doesn't look fucking lost on the sidelines, who looks like they belong there. That's what I want.
I think the only special teams coach I could think of that got a head coaching job was John Harbaugh in Baltimore, and that's worked out really, really well. I'm surprised that didn't start more of a trend, but I think a lot of the good special teams coaches end up getting like promoted to offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator at some point, you know?
Joe Judge from the Patriots got the Giants job before Dabble.
Okay, he was a special teams coach?
Yep.
Nice.
The coach can't be a friend to the players. He has to be an authority figure that they respect his authority, and they don't give him shit, and they know he's in charge. And I don't think Frank Reich's that guy.
Yeah.
So
you play to win the game.
All right, so we're at the trade deadline. Came and went at 4:00 Eastern time, 5:00 Eastern time today. Yeah. So the teams basically now, the rosters your team has, this is it. Unless you're picking up some fucking shitty players that aren't on team. But other than
like
that,
Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham. So we'll start with a question that maybe open the dialogue a little bit. But Jordan, what's the most significant trade at the deadline, not the McCaffrey trade? We all know that's probably the most meaningful one, but so the next one.
I think the Dolphins getting Bradley Chubb today is a really big deal. That offense, I mean, they proved it, dude. As long as they keep Tua clean, that offense can move the ball and score points. That defense just needed a pass rusher really bad, and Bradley Chubb's a damn good one. So that's a big move for them, and they definitely went all in, man, and good for them.
Yeah, I love it for the Dolphins. They, they were everybody's kind of early season darlings there after they started off 3-0 and beat the Bills, and then the hype on them kind of died a lot with the whole Tua injury. But I think they're nasty. I mean, they did beat the Bills, so they're going to be confident if they run into them again in the playoffs. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that if that game goes down, it's going to be in Buffalo, and I don't like the Dolphins' chances of winning in Buffalo in January. But I definitely like the move, man. The Dolphins are looking to have a really nice season. I could see them going on a little run in the playoffs.
For me, I guess I'm going to talk about Robert Quinn, defense end. The Eagles picked up from Chicago. I think that just elevates their defense just a little bit more. We all know defense wins championships, and with that pass defense in the secondary, matching the pass rush, it could be a dangerous team in the play when it comes to playoff times for sure. That and then the counterpart, or not counterpart, but other is Buddy Roquan Smith over there in Baltimore. Is now in Baltimore. It's another big pickup for Baltimore. Kind of the same thing like you were saying earlier about Miami. But it's about the same type of trade there. So
the good thing about the Dolphins getting Chubb is they were just trading away the picks they had got from the Niners for Trey Lance, so they still have their picks.
Yeah.
I believe, or they may have gave him up for Tyreek. I don't know. They probably had to give up one or two of those picks for him, but still, the fact that they are in win now mode, exactly. So I'm with it. Like, do what you can to ride this core out. So kudos to them.
I do have a question. So because I'm mainly just because I'm curious. So because some of the players that the Falcons are, not Ridley, not counting him, but some of the guys that the Falcons traded. Let's see, Rashad Fenton. He's pretty good. I don't know anything about Dean Marlowe.
He's the guy that got beat on the Hail Mary on Sunday, if that tells you anything.
Okay, well, all right.
And they traded him the next day.
That's why he got traded.
I was going to ask, like, what those pieces in particular, like, what do that not really mean anything?
I think the Bills sounded like they just wanted another safety because both their safeties are banged up.
Right.
I don't think that was necessarily a move thinking like Dean Marlowe is going to come in and do something great for the Bills.
Okay.
I just think that was more of a depth signing. The Falcons getting Fenton though that's a good deal for them. I mean, dude, they were running practice squad players out there on Sunday for secondary, so they had to do something. Calvin Ridley, like you said,
that means nothing.
He was never playing another down with the Falcons. I don't think.
No. So I mean, that's actually that's a good. I just was kind of curious because to me, obviously Falcons are in first place. Like you're still in it, very much. If you're first place in your division, so I didn't know if those were key players, and that's what kind of scratched my head a little bit but after looking at it, it looks like there's some 7th round picks, so it's not going to really affect the Falcons too much.
A trade that I think is actually understated is the Bills getting Nyheim Hines, because you guys watch your teams. There's always that player on your team. You're like, why the fuck don't we use him? Why are we not using him the way he could be used? And Nyheim Hines is fast as fuck. That dude.
The last 2 years on Madden, I have traded and gotten Nyheim Hines because you can get him for like a 5th round pick on Madden. He's a beast on there, dude. So,
and what's hilarious is I have him on both my fantasy teams just because. Mm-hmm. And now he's on the Bills, and I think he's gonna be fucking baller in the Bills offense because contenders only trade for players at the deadline that they think are going to significantly help their team. They're not going to, like the Bills aren't going to, they don't need much. And they're like, oh, this is the guy we need, maybe the missing piece. And I think they're going to use the fuck out of him, quite honestly.
The only reason I thought that trade was a little weird is because they just drafted James Cook for that exact role. That's the only reason I thought that was a little weird. And they have started to use him a little bit more. But, I mean, yeah, they're going to use Nyheim Hines because they need to run the ball more first and foremost. So
well, maybe they just realized early on that who'd they draft Cook, you said?
Yeah, that's Dalvin Cook's little brother.
Okay, because
he is going to be really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched
it. Might not be this year. Maybe this is just to push him off another year or so.
My one big issue for the trade deadline is I just don't understand why mediocre teams who they're not even like the Colts, like we're not even in a rebuild yet. Like our rebuild starts in the off season. So why not get rid of like Ryan Kelly, our center? Like a team would trade for Ryan Kelly. It'd get a lot of money off the books because our offensive line's garbage. So they can't be worse than they are. So why not? I mean, you want to keep. And I know it sounds weird, but I don't know why you almost wouldn't trade Quentin Nelson. Your best player on your team can't be your left fucking guard, and you're paying him ridiculous money on a team that's probably getting ready to go into a rebuild. I don't know why teams don't sell like crazy when they're not going to win it, and I don't know why teams who are contenders don't make splash. You'd almost feel like all the good teams should be going to the shitty teams being like, hey, here, we want your best player. Here's what we got. Here's what we got for you. I don't know why it doesn't happen more often. The Chubb thing's huge.
I think it's a clash of perspectives, right? You're a Colts lifer, right? You're with the Colts from now, forevermore, no matter what, right? Regarding something unforeseen happening. Whereas Ballard and Reich, they're trying to make sure they got a job for next year, dude. So they're probably, they're probably thinking if we can somehow scratch and claw and maybe get to 8-1 or something, maybe that'll be enough to keep us around.
But I'm talking about all teams, like the Panthers. They should have literally got rid of every player that other teams wanted because they're in a complete rebuild.
Get
so
rid of
why
everybody?
Teams I'm serious. Yeah. Teams like that, why not just fire sale everything? Because the NFL is all about winning.
Side of it, man, and I feel like if you the reason you don't see the out and out tanks in the NFL like you do in the NBA is I think that the actual actual tickets make up such a big portion of their business. They want to make sure they're still getting those season ticket sales and that live gate because they only have eight or nine games in the stadium all year long. So to me, I think that's why you don't see the straight up, like you said, the fire sale, even though it would make sense.
Mediocrity doesn't sell tickets, dude.
No.
It's more than straight up basement dwelling, though, man. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
If the Colts are 1-6, 1-7 right now, okay, with the current team they have, and would you want them to just sell Pittman and Jonathan Taylor?
No. So I think they're all young though. They're a rebuild. They're third year in the league.
I know, but I'm just saying, as far as take all that out of the equation, as far as them being the star players, would you want the Colts just getting rid of it just to get more picks for next year?
No, I'm not. I don't mean players. I'm talking about players that are not part of your rebuild moving forward. Because even when you go into rebuild mode, you're always going to have 3 or 4 players that you're taking with you because they're a good core. Pittman and Taylor, for the Colts example, they're part of the rebuild. We're not going to trade them. That would be dumb.
I think the Saints.
Darius Leonard, he's been Defensive Player of the Year. He's great. He's young, but I'd almost see what you could get for him. Because by the time we're going to be to the point where we're contending again, he's out of his prime. You got to think about that shit. Long term, these players that are good now, are they going to be in your prime? Are they going to be in their prime when you get to where you want to be?
I think teams overvalue what they have too. I think teams ask too much. The Saints knew they were never getting a first-round pick for Kamara.
That was ridiculous.
I seriously do not understand the point of not trading him. That team...
I agree.
That team's not good enough to compete for a Super Bowl, and that's the end goal. Your goal is not to make the playoffs and lose. Your goal is to win a Super Bowl. That team's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. They have no cap for the next 5 years. Dude, at some point, you got to unload these guys while they have value, and Kamara's value ain't going to get any higher than it is right now. Dude, running backs don't last. I just don't understand what these teams think.
I mean, look at him. I mean, he's been suffering injuries all year, and he finally has an injury, or is finally somewhat clear of his injury, and he showed out. But how much longer are you gonna have of that?
They should. I thought because I heard the Bills reached out for Kamara, and basically when the Saints asking price was too high, they're like, "Fuck it, we'll go with Hines," which. It's cool.
The Eagles and the Bills both reached out to the Saints for Kamara. I just don't understand the point of hanging on to him if I'm the Saints. Dude, at some point, you got to just dive into the rebuild and go with it. And you trade everything of value that you have. They're not winning with that team.
All they're doing is out of first place, though, man. The Saints are only a game back from first place.
But again,
win.
The NFL's about winning Super Bowls. The Colts are only 1 game out of the wild card in the AFC.
But do
I
you
mean,
really
you
think
guys
they're
are acting
going
like
anywhere?
teams-
Exactly, but they're
won
not
the
going anywhere. Like, I would honestly rather tank the season than get in the playoffs and lose in wild card weekend. That's the way I feel about
We've
it.
seen teams get in on that last wild card spot and go win a freaking Super Bowl. The Giants in 2007 looked like the worst team in the league, limping into the playoffs, and they somehow beat the Patriots, the greatest team ever. Like, I feel like you guys are just giving up on hope too soon. Football is a crazy game. There's a lot of randomness built into football. It's just a one-off. It's not like the NBA where you got to win a 7-game series where the best team is going to win 99% of the time. Anything can happen any given Sunday. That's why that's, a catchphrase, man.
Oh, but at the same time, like, if you look at the Saints' perspective, like, they did nothing today, absolutely nothing, and so it's kind of hard to be like, well, just at least like that the meme with the guy, the stick man with pointing to the stick, like, do something. Like, yeah, let's do something, liven up your team somehow. I don't know. I mean, I agree with you, Jordan. And as a Saints fan, like, right now they're just putting Band-Aids on the situation, and it's like the Flex Seal guy right now. So he's just doing his best to keep the season afloat. So
The worst thing to be in professional sports is mediocre, because you don't get a good draft, and then you just this vicious cycle of mediocrity that you can't get out of until you actually decide to fucking tank. So, but speaking of teams that are not mediocre, we'll go with the Eagles. We can all, I guess at this point, have to agree that they're the best team in the NFL. So now the question is are they going to go undefeated? Jordan.
Looking at their schedule and the way they play the game, running the ball, passing second, defense is hard-nosed. They play really hard all game. They got a good chance in it looking at their schedule. I mean, yeah, they got the Giants twice. Is anybody still buying the Giants as like some world beater? They just got smoked by the Seahawks. I mean, they got the Cowboys again. That's probably their toughest game they got left. I think they could do it with the way the team is based. I'll say they don't, just for the mere fact that we've seen it once since 1972. So I don't think they'll do it, because I do think they'll be resting players at the end of the season for a playoff run, and they cannot afford any of those guys to get hurt. So I'll say they lose one in the last couple of weeks, but I think the team is good enough to do it.
don't forget about those 2008 Patriots who
That's why I said one time since 72.
The team's good, and the schedule is really, really soft, man. Like I said, they got the Titans, but that game's in Philly. They should be able to win that. I know AJ Brown's gonna be motivated to show out.
Yeah.
Both games against the Giants should be tough, especially that last one, because like Jordan said, that could be some screwy stuff where the Eagles have already wrapped up home field, and the Giants could be playing for their playoff life at that point. And then the game at Dallas on Christmas Eve, that's going to be a gigantic game. The Eagles could be playing to wrap up home field in that one, or at least clinch the division. So some tough games, but they've been crushing people, man. Aside from that game at Arizona, they've really been dominating. So I could see it happening, but I'm with Jordan. I'm predicting they drop one of those previously mentioned games.
It's so tough to go undefeated, especially in that final stretch. And it depends on, 1972, the game was played way differently than it is now, meaning how coaches play.
Oh, yeah? Did you watch a lot of that 1972 season? Did you catch a lot of that?
Hey, asshole.
You kids don't even get how they used to play the game.
Yeah, because you know what? What I'm trying to get at is they put the gas pedal all the way through the season and didn't care. Yeah. Coaches now at the end of the season, they start pulling players and getting ready for the playoffs. That's what I mean. Can I finish my fucking phrase?
I don't think you know shit about things that took place in 1972.
I know a lot of things.
The Dolphins may have arrested half their roster, and you don't know. You're just spouting bullshit. You're like, I think they probably played him because it was 1972.
Richard Nixon was president, so boom. Yeah, I mean, just looking at what that they used to do back then. I mean, even in the 90s, it was different, right? They put the gas pedal all the way to the end of the season a lot of times. Now they just start pulling players. I got a question. So if they're 16-0 and they got a game against the Giants, last game of the season, would you pull Hurts and AJ Brown or bench them?
No, you got to. Sports is all about legacy. If you have the chance to go undefeated, you got to roll. The Colts, the year we lost to you guys in the
2009.
Super Bowl, we were 14-0, and we were handling the Jets. And then Caldwell said, you know what, we're pulling the starters at halftime. They lost that game, and then we just kind of you felt kind of the wind out of the sails type mentality, I think. So I think you keep the fucking foot on the gas pedal. You don't fix things that aren't broken, and you fucking go for history.
Agreed.
You sounded like Tommy Boy there for a second. Need a little wind here.
Yeah.
The other thing that's gonna be tough for the Eagles, man, that we've seen it happen a few times, is when you get to like 11-0, 12-0, suddenly every game is like the Super Bowl for the team that's playing it. You know, so they got some teams down the stretch. They got the Bears,
the Colts, baby.
Yeah, they got the Colts. They got the Saints on New Year's Day. To those teams, those rat teams that aren't really going anywhere, like that's their biggest game of the season. 2015, the Panthers were freaking 14-0, and a Falcons team that I think won 6 games all year put on a hell of an effort. Julio Jones had like 275 yards receiving, and they ended the Panthers.
Julio Jones had 300 yards and Matt Ryan had 500 yards.
Yeah, they just, they pulled out all the stops. I remember the 98 Broncos. This is like when I'm like first really starting to like really follow football closely. They were 13-0 and they were looking like unstoppable, and they got beat by a shitty Giants team in week 15. So it's like you said, J-Bone, it's just incredibly tough because they're going to be getting every single team's best shot down the stretch that last 5 or 6 weeks.
They are not going to go undefeated. That's what I say because it's the NFL and you always lose. But we're pressed for time, fellas, so we got to move on. We're going to move to.
Oh, we are? What you got?
They got Pod Warriors, bro.
They got Bean Sprout Quesadillas coming up.
Yeah,
later
Pod
on?
Warriors. I'm doing broken VCR after this also. So we're going to start midseason awards here. First one, MVP, Jordan.
I'm going to go Josh Allen just for the mere fact of how good Buffalo is and how well he's playing. I mean, the stuff he does in a game. Sunday night was what it was. Everybody expected that to be a flat game. I mean, but Josh Allen, what he's doing this season is unreal. The way he runs the ball as a quarterback is insane. He just spreads the ball around and just awesome. I will say Patrick Mahomes definitely has a case for it. Without having Tyreek Hill, he's still putting up incredible numbers. So I'm not going to diss on Patrick Mahomes and say he's not right there. I think Josh Allen's on pace to win it for this season.
I agree. I'll say Josh Allen only because Bill Belichick refuses to play Bailey Zappi. So if Bailey Zappi had started all 8 games so far, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
I was hoping the Colts were going to trade a first for him today.
They should have traded the next 5 years worth of first for him, dude. They'd be laughing all the way to the bank. But since Bill Belichick can't get on the Zappy train, I concur with Jordan. I'm going to say Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'm going to mix it up. I am going to go with Mahomes here. I mean, yes, Josh Allen's playing incredible. But, Mahomes, I think, he's doing a lot better than I thought he would without Tyreek Hill. Yep. And I mean, he's putting up amazing numbers. His team's winning every week. And I mean, it's not like he doesn't have anybody. I mean, Smith-Schuster's he's good.
Mm-hmm. They got the best tight end in football.
Kelsey. Yeah. So I mean, he's still got weapons. It's not like it's not like he's Helen Keller out there trying to throw football. But that sometimes it looks like he is. But But I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes.
Has Josh Allen won an MVP yet?
No. So
then
the narrative's there.
He's definitely winning it. The voters love a new guy, but he's deserving. He's not just a new guy. I think he's clearly the best player in the NFL. And again, Mahomes is one of those guys that he could win it every single year. Yep. He's always there, but like I said, the voters like a new guy, so they always look for a reason to give it to someone. So
like
Josh Allen.
I was just being a contrarian, to be honest with you.
Fall in line.
Both of those guys are good choices. If we're not doing Offensive Player of the Year, even though I think that's stupid that they do MVP and Offensive Player. But if we were saying that, I think Tyreek Hill runs away with Offensive Player of the Year.
He's been killing it, dude.
Dude, he's got almost 1,000 yards already.
And if you watch, Tua's not really putting it on the money, dude. Tua's kind of just like saying fuck it and throwing as he can, and Tyreek Hill's just going and snagging it, man.
Yeah, he's Tyreek Hill was baller. But
I wish they would change Offensive Player of the Year. Just make it a non-quarterback award. Like I feel like that's what they really need to do.
The majority of the time it is. It's usually a wide receiver or running back.
Give it to an offensive lineman.
Yeah, right.
Maybe then Quentin Nelson can win one.
Well, fuck the offense. Let's go to defense here. Let's go to defensive player of the year, Jordan.
I gotta go Micah Parsons. What that dude's doing is unfucking real. Like, dude, that guy is gonna probably win defensive player of the year 10 times in the next 15 years. He's just unreal.
Yeah, dude, I agree with Jordan. I wish we had a little bit more debate here, but I think after maybe Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, and Justin Herbert, I think Micah Parsons might be the next player I was taking if we had a clean slate and we're redrafting the entire NFL. I think Parsons would be number 4 player coming off the board if I'm picking.
I'm going to go, again, being a contrarian, but I'm going to go throw out Von Miller. I know he's all-time player, but I think he's really helped that Bills defense shape it to where it's at right now. And he's doing a fantastic job. Myles Garrett too. You can give him some props as well too. He single-handedly won that game pretty much last night for the Browns. So without him, the Browns don't win that game. So
I have no pick because I only watch Colts games, and defensive players are not in fantasy football, so I don't know what the fuck's going on that side of the ball. And no Colts players are worthy of it, so I'm going to be non-applicable on this one. And actually, kind of this award, too, is going to be almost the same for me, and that's Rookie of the Year, Jordan.
At the halfway point, this one's kind of tough. I do think if I had to vote today, I'd probably go Dameon Pierce just because he is carrying the fucking load on a terrible fucking team. I mean, I know the majority of people are going to say Olave, and he deserves it, but I just think, oh God, Seth's going to go Bailey Zappi. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, this fucking segment's stupid.
Show's over.
Don't worry, be Zappi. Bailey Zappi is the NFL.
Don't worry, sit on the bench.
Best rookie this year, possibly best rookie in the history of the NFL.
Oh my God.
I'm going Chris Olave, so I mean he's the only bright thing the Saints has right now. I mean, so I'm going Chris Olave.
Not applicable for the old Hawkster. Not following the fucking rookies. Don't give a shit. Prove yourself to me. That's when I start to care.
Need more rope shaking and
smoke.
If I could be serious, Breece Hall would have been my pick, man. Breece Hall was killing it before he got hurt.
Yeah. They're not going to give it to him though because he's only going to end up playing.
He only had 5 or 6 games, but he was incredible.
Oh, he would have been my pick. That's 100% who I wrote down last week when I thought we were going to do this eventually, but that's over.
And then Coach of the Year.
Man,
I know you're picking. You've talked about him every fucking week.
I mean, going into this week, I probably would have said Brian Daboll. I have to go Scarani, dude.
I thought you were going to go DeBall. Is that how you say Dayball? Yeah, DeBall?
I would have went him, but man, they just got shellacked in Seattle, and I think this is the downfall of their season. We all said they were teetering on the fucking edge. That they went over the edge now.
That coach is turning, that stage coach turning back into a pumpkin.
Yeah, I just think Scarani with what he's done. I mean, Philadelphia does have a great roster, but still got to coach the team and still got to call the right plays and stuff. So
I am very skeptical if they're going to be able to keep up the same pace down the stretch. But right now, my pick would be Pete Carroll. I think everybody pretty much wrote the Seahawks off this year.
No, I'm with you 100%.
After trading Russell Wilson, but I think he gets bonus points for knowing when to pull the plug on Russell Wilson, because when you got a player like that is really like, I would say like a franchise-defining player. Like he's probably like, love him or hate him, and obviously it hadn't been the same in Denver this year, but he's probably the best Seahawk of all time. And they traded him at the right time. It's really easy to hang on to those guys a year too long, and then you don't really get the return on them that you did. But they got a ton of talent and draft picks for him. So they're stocked up to be successful the next few years. And he's coached the hell out of Geno Smith. So I say Pete Carroll, even though the Seahawks are 5-3, but they do need to get to at least 9 or 10 wins, I think, for him to be a viable candidate. And I'm not 100% sure they're going to do that.
The Boss would disagree with your take about being the greatest Seahawk. I'm going to just go Sean McDermott. I was going to actually say Pete Carroll too, actually, just because I thought the Seahawks would have been one of the worst teams in the league, and
You don't get it. You don't get it for having the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I think for McDermott to get it, the Bills would need to go like undefeated, man. To me,
That's Josh Allen's team.
Outperforming expectations.
Yeah, but you take Josh Allen off that Bills team, and they're mediocre.
Again. You still have to get your team ready each week. You know,
I'm not taking anything away from the guy. I don't think he's a candidate for Coach of the Year.
He's a candidate, but he's not going to win it.
I just like Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll, he made one of the most controversial moves in NFL history. Yeah. And he knew when he did that, he was going to be getting shit from the fan base. I talked to Seahawks fans. I'm like, who would you rather go, Pete Carroll or Russell Wilson? And they were all like, oh, we want to keep Russell Wilson and see a Pete Carroll. So he made a call that probably no Seahawk fan agreed with in real time. And it's ended up paying off. And I'm not saying Geno Smith's the future, but you helped the future of your team by cutting loose a player that you knew was washed up, even if the fans didn't know it and the national media didn't know it, and maybe Russell Wilson himself didn't even recognize it. But Pete Carroll did, and he's like, you know what, bud? We're going to be fine without you. This team would be no better than 5-3 with Russell Wilson.
Another name out there, Mike McCarthy too. I mean, he lost your starting quarterback week 2, and they lost one game during that stretch. So. Yes, I mean they got
Mike McCarthy sucks.
Arthur Smith should at least get votes for Coach of the Year. The Falcons were voted as having the worst roster.
Winning that division, he's going to get votes.
I agree.
They had the worst roster in the NFL going into this season, according to almost everyone. Expected to win 2 games. They've already got 4 through 8 weeks. Like they keep playing the way they're playing. He might get
another name I'll bring up.
Coach of the Year historically, it's gone to whatever like the surprise team of the year is, man.
I think we can all agree it's Pete Carroll. Moving on.
Updated.
We're going to update our Super Bowl picks here, and it's just who you think's going to win it all. Now that you've seen half of the season, who's winning it all, Jordan?
My pick isn't changing. I'm still going the Buffalo Bills. I think this team is too fucking good. If they seriously don't win it this year, man, it ain't going to be good for that team moving forward. They have to win.
I will say I think the Bills are the best team in the league, but heartbreak is absolutely woven into the fabric of that team. And I think Andy Reid is going to cook up some kind of badass game plan. I think he's a better coach than McDermott. And I think the Chiefs are going to break those Buffalo Bills' hearts in the AFC Championship and go to the Super Bowl
and winning. I'll bet you right now.
Dude, I'm rooting for the Bills. I hope I'm wrong on this, man.
I know.
But
we'll make a bet right now. If the Chiefs and Bills play in Buffalo for the AFC title game, I'll buy you $100 steak dinner. The Bills are not losing at home if they get home field advantage. They're just not.
I don't know, dude. I hope I'm wrong. I can see it so clearly.
Different.
Yeah, I can just so clearly see the tears flowing from the Buffalo faithful in January.
Obviously this is an easy pick, but I'm still going to go with them. I'm going to go Eagles, especially with the moves they made on defense. And I think they have, in some ways, a better defense than the Bills. And, Bills can get busted really easy. They got rookie safeties out there. It could be trouble for them.
They're getting their all-pro cornerback back this week, though.
Okay, well.
I mean, Tre'Davious White's one of the best corners in the NFL, and they're getting him back this week.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go Eagles. They made some improvements. And I know it's easy. They're the undefeated team. Oh, of course, yeah. But
the Bills are easy too.
Yeah,
yeah.
All the teams
I'm going Bills. Far. I think Josh Allen's best player in the NFL, and they're rolling. And I have no reason to believe. And the playoffs, anything can happen to bounce the ball. But if everything plays out the way it should, the Bills are gonna run away with it.
Yep.
And that's it. That's it for our discussion. Now we'll move into the crystal ball segment of the Is Jim Irsay going to have a fentanyl overdose watching the Colts play this season? Yes. I'm seeing the future. Or say drug overdose by week 16.
I think Dalton Castle is going to be the new quarterback next year for the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm on for anything Dalton Castle does. Just fucking bring it. All right, let me see. Let's see if we got a game of the week here that I'll avoid off the bat.
This is another bad week, my friend.
It's a pretty terrible week. No, they're all pretty shitty games, so we'll just start at the top here. We got Thursday night football. Eagles, Texans. Why the Texans are on Thursday? Who the fuck knows?
Everybody gets a Thursday night game, and the Eagles are going to baptize the Texans on Thursday night football. It's going to be bad.
Fucking baptism by fire, dude. Yeah, it's going to be ugly. The Titans beat the Texans 17-10 on Sunday, but watching that game, it could have been 52-3, dude. Like, the Texans had no life whatsoever, man. This one, I see this one being like first-round knockout.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, obviously Eagles. So, yeah.
Eagles all the way, of course. The Bills at the New York Jets.
I'm going to go Bills here, and I just think they're the best team in the league, so.
Yeah, Zach Wilson a couple times a week makes plays where I'm just like, what the hell are you even doing? I don't.
He put up 20 for me in fantasy. I started him over Russ, and he outscored him. So
yeah,
sweet.
he's talented. He puts up some big plays, but it's like it's a couple times a game. It's like, dude, did you just like stroke out in the middle of that play or what, man? Yeah, Bills win this one easy.
He's too busy with those New York MILFs, you know. No funner. Yeah. I'm gonna go Bills. So
Bills all the way. We have Panthers at Bengals.
Although I think the Bengals without Jamar Chase are not a very good team. The Panthers are really, really bad, so I'll go Bengals.
Yeah, I'll say Bengals, but I'm not 100% on that. I think Bengals win though.
Yeah, this could be a sneaky game for the Bengals, but I'm gonna say Bengals too.
Bengals for sure. Green Bay at the Lions. Somebody has to win the game. I think we didn't talk about it at all, but Rodgers it's looking like he hit the wall, man.
Looked like he fell off a cliff, man.
I'll tell you this. I'll pick the Packers, but I have zero confidence in it. Like, that team's not good.
Yeah, I'll pick Packers.
I'm going Lions.
No, the Lions, every time I get a little bit of leeway, a little bit of confidence, they always lose. So I just can't in good conscience ever pick the Lions to win any game ever. So I got to go Packers.
The Lions always, year after year, fuck up my survivor pool.
All right, game of the week here, boys. Colts at Patriots.
Dear God. I mean, the Patriots' defense against the Bears last week looked like shit. This week they got it back together. The Colts are a fucking dumpster fire, dude. They're bad. They don't know what they're fucking doing. The Patriots will win this game. It ain't going to be pretty at all, though.
No,
Patriots
lost. Oh, okay, there we go. He's dubbed. He's in Italy.
I'm gonna go Colts.
Matt, I just think Belichick's gonna destroy Ellinger.
I think so too.
Is the issue?
I'm just trying to give my friend some help here.
No, it's gonna get pretty bad. So I'm gonna have to take the Patriots. He's not a rookie, but it's his second year, but he's pretty much a rookie, and I just think Belichick deals with him. Although he did get sliced up by Justin Fields a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it was last Monday.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take. If it was in Indy, I might take Indy, but since it's in Foxborough, I gotta fucking go against my boys here. Live in reality, I guess. It took me 8 weeks to get there, but I now know where we stand.
Come sit on the reality bench.
Yeah, I got you. All right, we got the Chargers at the Falcons. This is actually probably shaping up to be the game of the week.
Yeah, it could be an interesting one.
Dude, Herbert is going to slice the secondary up so bad. But the only good thing for the Falcons is the Chargers are really banged up. I mean, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are probably both going to miss this game. But they do have Austin Eckler, so I'll give the Chargers the edge based on that alone.
Dude, I think the Falcons are going to win, man. They've been overachieving all season, and the Chargers have been underachieving. And Staley's a name we didn't mention, man. I feel like if this ends up, wheels fall off and they miss the playoffs, I could see Staley being out in San Diego because that team is loaded with talent.
Where's this game being played at? In Atlanta?
It's in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, yep.
I'm going to go Falcons, too.
I can't pick against Herbert, I think. They got it. They're not playing great, but I just always go with the team with the better quarterback, and Mariota's not good. That's why he's on his third team in the NFL.
I'm pretty sure the Chargers' backup quarterback is better than Mariota.
The kid, you guys drafted Ritter out of Cincy, right?
Yeah, and it fucking pisses me off. I haven't got to see him play yet. Like I get it. We're in a playoff hunt at this point. I don't know how, but I mean, whatever. They don't want.
I just think when you spend a first-round pick on a quarterback, you just throw him to the Wolves.
They didn't pick him in the first round. They picked him in the third round.
Third, okay. Yeah. Still, if he's going to be your starter, throw him there. Oh, man, fuck. Raiders at Jaguars.
Good God.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to go Raiders because, dude, the Jaguars are very, very bad.
I don't know what's
is
going on with
Lawrence
Trevor
a bust?
Lawrence, man. Yeah,
like, go around the horn now as you make your pick, and I want to hear, is Lawrence a bust?
He's not a bust yet, but he's on bust watch right now, man. Because last year I thought he was just a victim of, the whole Urban Meyer nightmare. I expect him to do big things. And like I said, dude, the Jags look good the first couple of weeks, but something happened, dude, and they are just looking rough these last 4 or 5 weeks. I think the Raiders get the win in Jacksonville.
Jordan, do you think he's a bust, though? Do you think Lawrence is?
I don't think he's a bust. This is a bad franchise. Let's just put it where it is. That's a bad franchise. Doug Peterson is not doing a good job with this team right now. They're not playing to the team's strengths at all. It's not a good team.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know. Yeah. I guess Raiders. Yeah, Lawrence is a bust. That's what I'm going with. So, which really surprised me, to be honest with you. So
it shocked me, and I'm not saying Lawrence isn't going to be a serviceable quarterback, but he was coming out of college like an Andrew Luck, like a Peyton Manning, like can't miss prospect, and he's just kind of mediocre at this point. Granted, the Urban Meyer situation fucked him up. Like he pretty much lost his rookie year to dysfunction, and Tony Khan and his dad fucking suck at running shit, so they are a dumpster fire. But I'm gonna go the Raiders because that's the team, and I haven't watched them play, but just on paper, you're like, if any team's gonna turn it around this year, it's gonna be the Raiders, in spite of Josh McDaniels. So I'm gonna go
CM Punk for quarterback next year for the Jaguars.
Fuck, keep him out of your locker room. All right, we got Dolphins at Bears.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Dude, I think the Bears can score some points. Justin Fields is kind of starting to figure it out, but I just think the Dolphins are a better team.
Dolphins, man. I think Dolphins are even better than they've shown so far. I'm buying all the Dolphins stock for the rest of the season.
Yeah, especially with the addition of Chubb. Dolphins, 1,000%.
I'm on the Dolphins train. I'll go with them also. Vikings at Commanders.
Vikings.
And then I think Rivera goes on hot seat watch. I don't think he makes it out of the season alive. We got...
You're going to kill him?
It might. Shadier shit's happened in D.C., I'm telling you. People just show up missing.
Yeah. That was so perfectly timed.
Seahawks at Cardinals.
Seahawks.
I'm going Cardinals, man. I think Cardinals are starting to enter desperation mode, and I know I'm contradicting myself because I just picked Pete Carroll for Coach of the Year, but the reason I say he's Coach of the Year is because he's doing really good with a shit team. Cardinals win this one.
Seahawks.
Cardinals, and I got Murray in fantasy, so he better pull his head out of his ass and play like he's capable. All right, this probably... Oh, we got a couple good games here, actually. We got the Rams at the Bucks.
That's not a good
Bucks
game.
Aren't great, I guess,
Neither
but...
one of these teams is great.
But...
I will say this. This is an important game because both these teams need a win badly. Dude, how can anyone have any faith in the Bucks right now? They just look like they don't even look like they want to play football. That Ravens game was embarrassing.
It was.
I'm gonna go with the Rams, but I have zero confidence in the Rams either.
I say Bucks, man. Brady's lost 4 straight, which means I just can't see him losing 5 straight. I feel like at some point he's going to get it together, and I'm not a big fan of the Rams this year. I say Bucks.
The newly single Brady, he's going to finally let one loose, and he's going to
let one loose when he gets killed by fucking Aaron Donald.
Let one loose off the field and on the field. So Bucks. I'm going Bucks right now.
He just got divorced, so he's probably playing with STDs right now. Probably a little discomfort because he's just been fucking like crazy.
He's been Zach Wilson.
He's fucked every person in Tampa, male or female, in the last 2 weeks, I'm sure.
It is the strip club capital of America per capita. They got the most strip clubs.
Oh, he invited Kraft down. They had a great time. I'm sure of it.
Kraft, gone, the whole team.
I'm gonna go with. I agree. I think if it was in LA, I'd pick the Rams, but since it's in Tampa, I'm gonna go the Bucks. But Brady can keep losing because I think he's lost the father time. Finally, I think it's all right to admit it. He's 45. It's all right to say that maybe Tom Brady finally caught up to him.
Yeah. This isn't father time. This is father NFL said you should no longer be playing football.
Yeah. I just loved how he blew up his whole entire life for one mediocre season.
It's like, dude, stay home. He's like, nah, I got better things to do.
He should have retired after the Super Bowl 2 years ago, but whatever. All right, we actually do have one good game this week. We have the Titans at the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football.
Well, Vegas doesn't think this is going to be a good game because the spread is 14. So
what?
No way.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dead serious.
That's crazy, man.
I would pound Tennessee on this game.
Hey,
so I haven't seen any news. Is Tannehill still out?
It doesn't sound like he's going to play. And that's bad.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I'm going to go Chiefs. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a complete blowout, but I'll go Chiefs.
Yeah, historically, outside of the AFC Championship in 2019, the Titans have actually had the Chiefs' number for whatever reason the last 4 or 5 years. They beat the shit out of them last regular season. A couple years back, 2020, they beat them as well. But if Tannehill is not playing, I think the Chiefs roll easy. If Tannehill's playing, I think this is going to be a coin flip game because for whatever reason, Vrabel just knows how to game plan against Andy Reid. So, but yeah, Vrabel's out. That explains the 14-point spread because Malik Willis, like I said, they beat the shit out of the Texans, but I didn't see him do one memorable thing that entire 4 quarters. He didn't look great.
No,
he showed up. I mean, and you got Derrick Henry though, but I mean, Chiefs, Mahomes, like I said earlier, he's playing a whole nother level. I would say Chiefs by 10.
I would say Chiefs are definitely going to win, but pound Tennessee if you're a betting man. I just 14. Don't see. Vrabel's been Tennessee's roster top to bottom is not good. Vrabel's been making these guys play out of their minds, and they're not going to lose by 14 points under Vrabel. I just don't see it happening.
Quick spoiler alert. Don't take advice from these two. They're both done betting because they
Hey.
What do you say? Would you bet on this game, Jordan? Would you take Tennessee?
If Tannehill plays, I would take Tennessee. If Tannehill does not play, there's no way I'm taking Tennessee. Like Seth said, Malik Willis is not good enough.
If Vegas has got the spread at 14, then that means the insiders, they got to know that Tannehill is definitely not playing.
Yeah, if Tannehill doesn't play, I don't think they keep that game close. I bet it's like a 21 to a 28-point game.
We'll see.
Like, even at a 14-point spread?
I would not take the Titans if Tannehill does not play. I don't care what
I'm telling you, they put up 17 against the Texans, and that was on a day when Derrick Henry had 200 yards rushing. Henry had 200 yards rushing, and the team ended with 17 points. Malik Willis, he wasn't bad, right? He had one pick, but it wasn't like a bad pick. He just did nothing. Like they literally only trusted him to hand off the ball and throw little dink and dunk stuff. So they don't have an offense, man. And yeah,
not an
offense against the Chiefs. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got Monday Night Football. We got the Ravens at the Aints, New Orleans.
Man. Dude, I still just don't trust Lamar. I just don't know what it is. It's just there's something about him, man, that every season it gets about halfway point. It's like, Jesus, dude, are we really putting our faith in this dude? Having said that, I still do think the Ravens are a better team. I don't think they're going to win this game by a lot. I think it'll be close. It'll be low scoring, and I'll give the Ravens the edge in a low scoring game.
Yeah, Lamar's a really special talent, man. Like, he's a good football player, but the way he plays and some of his limitations makes it possible where you can craft a game plan to shut him down. I think they're going to be fired up Monday night in New Orleans. That New Orleans crowd always shows up, no matter how well the Saints, how good or bad the Saints season's going. I think New Orleans gets the upset and beats the Ravens on Monday night.
Apparently, you've never seen '90s Saints football.
I was gonna say
nobody saw '90s Saints football outside of New Orleans, dude.
I wasn't really basing my picks for this Monday night on something that happened almost 30 years ago, but yeah, you're right. The '90s were kind of dark for the Saints.
Up until 2006, everything was dark for the Saints. But I'm gonna go Saints on this one. I got faith in my team. They're gonna pull it off right now. Maybe this 24-0 lead will. Victory will give some life to that defense. The defense has not shown up like they should have this year. And I'm gonna say Saints win by 2.
Everything Jordan said about Lamar Jackson, I 100% agree with, and I've said that since the beginning of the season. He's just not anyone. He's a franchise quarterback. Clearly, I'm not saying he isn't, but. I just don't think he's what everybody thought he was going to be. I think he comes in, has some spectacular shit, and pulls some games out, but then I also think he shits the bed a lot in the fourth quarter. The Ravens lose a lot of leads late in games, and you can be like, it's not Lamar's fault. It's like he's not scoring points.
I think they do put him in really bad positions, though. Like, when it gets to anything past 3rd and 7, they're fucked. You might as well just trot the fucking punting unit on the field. They're not getting a first down.
Dude, the thing is, he can't throw to the outside of the field, man. He's got this thing where, like, he can only throw, like, within, like, the hash marks and stuff, man. Like, anytime he has to throw outside, he's missing wide open guys. It's, like, the damnedest thing. So if you just double down on Mark Andrews, force him to throw it outside, you can cover those receivers one-on-one, then devote everybody else to take out the rush. He takes a lot off the table to me.
Those are the hardest throws to make, man. The sidelines. That's a very fine line. I agree. Yeah, that's what the great ones can make those.
Yeah, and that's just the thing, man. It's so crazy because he's so strong in the running game, and he is really, really good throwing through the middle of the field. But it just goes down the shitter, man. Anytime he's got to go outside the hashes.
But all that being said, I am going to take the Ravens because I think the Saints are in a down year. But that brings us to the big question of the episode: is JBONE, what's your fantasy?
No, because he sucks you guys in.
I want to kiss you.
So he sucks you guys right in. So consider yourself sucked.
Consider yourself sucked, baby. I'm doing great in fantasy. I'm pretty happy with my team. Won in 2 out of the 3 leagues this week. No, I'm sorry, no, all 3. All 3 leagues I won. Boom. In the Chick Foley Show league, I'm killing it right now. Scored 170 points. I love in life right now. In our league, Dub V League, I'm 3rd or 4th in the league. Not by much. So I'm happy where I'm at. So I'm killing it. Betting wise, I'm not doing great. Fantasy, awesome. Hawk, how you doing, Val?
I won in our league. So our league is a very fine line. If I win next week and a few people lose, I can instantly be like 5th in the league.
Yeah, because
the top 6 teams make the playoffs in our league. So I'll tell you, a move that I like is the Bills getting Nyheim Hines. I think that could be a late season fucking gem for me. Maybe it's a wash. Maybe he won't do anything, but I just think the Bills trading for him, they're going to use him. Yeah. And it could be good. That league is very weird because literally anyone could win. I mean, the first place guy's like killing it, but
yeah.
Other than that, like it's pretty much a crapshoot week to week.
And this, as far as fantasy points too, like this was like a breakout week too of points. So yeah, because it's been pretty stale. What about you, Jordan?
I went 3-2 this week. I had an absolute heartbreaker in Seth's league, lost by 1 point. Stopped paying attention. Fucking McCaffrey scored 35 points. Just completely fucked me. That one sucked. The other big league that I'm in scored the most points of the season in that league. So I had Deontay Foreman, Kamara, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Hurts. Like my team just blew up this week.
Foreman's a good pickup.
I just want to say we all picked McCaffrey under 10 TDs for the rest of the season, and he had 3 in the first week, so he's definitely going over 10. I would say he's probably going over 10 TDs.
He's going to bring a lot to that team, man. That team is going to benefit from him a lot. They're using him way more than I thought they were going to. So
and early too. When he learns the playbook, it's fucking it's on for the Niners.
We were all wrong.
Go figure. Sure. Seth. What you got?
Dude, I had a brutal beat, man. So I lost my game by 8. So the guy I was playing had Derek Pierce, the Texans running back, in a game that they were not even close to winning. He scored a touchdown with 3 seconds left, right? So that was 6 points. And then I also had the Jets defense. They had a pick 6. They got called back on a roughing the passer call. So that 12-point swing straight up cost me the game. Off basically 2 plays cost me the whole week in fantasy. So I'm down bad right now.
All right. Well, we'll see what we'll do next week. But.
So then we got some bets. I bet my last $50.
I'm done
in my account, and I'm done for the season. Lost it all. I bet 5 bets and lost it all. So now the betting segment of the show will be all Jordan.
I knew it was going bad because Hawk had been over for about an hour, and I was like, "How's your bets going this week?" And he was like, I didn't even check him yet. And then like an hour later, I asked him again. I said, did you ever check him? And it was just kind of like a little mumble. And then he kind of just trailed off and changed the subject. So I was like, all right, yeah, I know it's been bad.
Yeah. And I was probably pretty stoned and drunk.
Whoa.
It got weird. We were getting lit on the farm on Sunday.
Nice. I had a hell of a week of betting. Sunday was a good day for me. I got Tony Pollard over on yards, Montgomery over on receiving yards, Pitts over on receiving yards, Mariota over on passing yards, and then I took a 5-team parlay and I bet all these separately too. So I had Vikings -4, Cardinals, Vikings over, Titans -1, Eagles first half -6.5, and Steelers Eagles over 21.5 first half. Hit all those bets and a parlay. So your boy was up about 2,100 this weekend. So
holy fuck.
Solid weekend, man.
He'll be down $3,000 next week. Keep us updated.
Hey, man. So I've been on this show for 4 weeks now, and every bet that I have given out to the listeners has hit. Every single bet that I've given out has hit.
Do you have any advice for this week?
I do have one this week.
All right, let's hear it.
Eagles first half, you can either take money line or the points. The points should be about 7, and then take Eagles, Texans over in the first half as well. The Eagles score a shitload of points in the first half.
Maybe I got to throw more money in my account and just start following your advice. I think we need to we're going to have to make a drop for it. It's like Jordan's betting advice, and then it's just his segment because since the rest of us are out. But I think that's does it for this week, unless anybody has any closing words on the season.
Let's give Seth and Jordan a chance to plug what's going on in Pod Wars this week.
We're going to be doing Pod Wars Goes Hollywood, talking pro wrestling movies plus wrestlers in movies, little combo platter action, and we're actually going live right after this. So that should be dropping probably Thursday or Friday of this week. You can find it by searching Chick Foley Show anywhere you find podcasts or just going to chickfoley.com.
Awesome. And this week, coming down the aisle, head over to comingdowntheaislepod.com. This week, I like to throw some Laps fans, especially some family members. So I got the brother-in-law. He's coming on. He hasn't watched wrestling in years. So we're gonna check out some Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels ladder match, one of his favorite matches. So we're gonna check that out. So
WrestleMania 10 or SummerSlam 95?
Sorry, WrestleMania 10. Good point.
Okay,
WrestleMania 10. Yeah. So check that out. Check out Coming Down the Aisle pod.com. Easy enough for me to say.
Coming down the pile. That's a whole different podcast.
Coming in the pile.
Coming in the pile.
And on Broken VCR, we have Poltergeist drop today, so you can check out me and Chad discussing the 1982 classic horror film Poltergeist, which wrapped up our 2 months of horror films.
That's a good one to finish with.
Yeah, so check it out.
And of course, you can find everything theturnbuckletavern.com. Head over and subscribe to the podcast on Apple and Spotify. You can check out everything we got going on. Subscribe to YouTube. Head over to prowrestling.com. Until next week, hey, quick little outro. We got to go out because we got stuff to do. Peace.
We're busy.